What's good, YouTube? Welcome back. We're going to set up the live on Instagram as well right now. But welcome if you're already joining us.
Oh, shit. Peter Yan versus Marcus McGee. I didn't know that was just announced.
Come on. I just had to get that out. Yeah, it's a good one.
Sir.
It's a good one for McGee for sure, I think. It's a big step up.
Massive step up for McGee. Peter Yan's like arguably for the title next now.
True. Yeah. I mean, there's so many matchups for him. You could do Omar, Corey, Merab. So, yeah, I mean, Peter should be one of those guys beating Figgy and stuff. But what up, everybody? Welcome back to another Insider Betting where we give you guys our best picks, breakdowns, and predictions for the UFC card. This week, we got UFC 107 Fight Night in Vegas, Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber, possibly the most hype card of the year. Actually, I'm completely kidding. My mind is totally focused on next week's card, UFC 316, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley 2. Wish we were breaking down that fight today. Unfortunately, we are breaking down Maycee Barber versus Erin Blanchfield. Fight of the year? Who knows?
Yeah, definitely fight of the year.
Could be. You never know. It's in an Apex. You could be a small cage, just calling for action. I don't know. I'll be live Saturday. Hopefully, it's exciting. Not a snooze fest.
Yes, sir. You never know with these. Well, you actually always know with these. They're always snooze fests. But there's some decent fights before the main event. So, yeah, let's run it. Let's get
it going. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
The boys are joining. Yeah, Zachary Reese taking on Dusko Todorovic to open up the main card. Feels like a knockout is a 100% guarantee in this fight. Yeah. When you look at all of these guys' fights in the UFC, so Zach Reese is 2-2 in the UFC. Dusko is 3-5 in the UFC. All of those fights, except for one, ended in a knockout for these guys. Win or loss. Win or lose. So all of Reese's fights ended in a knockout, and then Dusko has one that went to decision. Honestly, I don't have too much to say here. I think that these guys are both like pretty evenly matched in terms of like skill level. I think Zach Reese has more power. He's got the better ground game. So I think he's the more well-rounded fighter, which is obviously easier to choose a guy like that. I think that he can have problems on the ground sometimes as well. Sometimes he over-relies on his ground game. So I think him keeping it a stand and bang is definitely going to be a positive for him. I think it's Zach Reese's fight to lose. So I got Zach Reese getting the win here. I don't really see Dusko getting the win, but you never know. Both of these guys are coming off of losses, and Dusko's coming off of 2 losses. So fight could really go either way, but definitely Zach Reese's fight to lose, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel like Dusko's already had the opportunity to try and make a name for himself in the UFC, and he just gets clean knocked out. He's fought against Gregory Rodriguez, Mansour Abdul Malik, like these undoubtedly good strikers, which when he's facing a good striker, he doesn't look like a good striker. I think he just gets beaten by a lot of these guys close to outside of the top 15, and that's where Zachary Reese is. If he has a good performance here, maybe he'll get a ranked opponent next. So I think he will be hunting for a knockout. I think it will happen earlier in this fight. I just don't think Dusko is going to be bringing the pace or pushing any type of crazy pace on Zachary Reese, where Zachary Reese, he just kind of has to stand his ground in this one, stay free from getting taken down, right? So control distance, and it's a small cage, so just try to stay in the center of the octagon and walk this guy down, and I think he could do it. He's got a big frame. I could see maybe him hurting to the body with a kick. I like that from Zachary Reese, or maybe even some body shots in the clinch that hurt Dusko and just kind of fade him out. And he gets the TKO victory here. I think Zachary Reese by finish would be my pick in this one.
Yeah, I agree. We're on the same page for that one. We got 6 people watching in the live. You guys got to drop some comments in the chat. Let us know if we're wrong. We go live every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Central.
Just let us know.
4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's too many different time zones. Where are we? We're
1
here.
1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. It's like kind of confusing, but if you know.
You know, you know.
I didn't even know this was on the main card, to be honest. I thought this was prelim, so this is pretty hype.
So I've seen everybody covering this as a prelim fight, but if you go to UFC.com, this is currently on their main card. So we'll cover it anyway. Not too excited about this fight. But we got Katlyn Vieira taking on Maycee Chason. Both are Katlyn's coming off of a loss, and Chason's coming off of a couple of wins here. The fight was actually supposed to originally happen in February, and I think that was on the Seattle card that you were supposed to be on, and then this fight got canceled. Honestly, neither of these fighters have too much going for them. Both of them have been Pani Kianzad recently, which doesn't say much because I have no clue who that is. But Katlyn's last win was back in 2022 against Holly Holm. That was 3 years ago. Chason, on the other hand, hasn't lost since 2022. But her 2 wins are against fighters who are currently on 3-fight losing streaks. So it doesn't say much either. She's beaten Mayra Bueno Silva, who originally I thought was going to be somewhat decent, and she's just been losing to everyone recently. So clearly not as good as I thought she was.
Yeah.
Chason is the taller fighter. She's got the longer reach, and overall she's the better striker in my opinion. But I think if you look back at her fight against Mayra Bueno Silva won that first round, and she was probably winning the second round, and then she got cut, doctor stoppage. Yes, that's a win for Macy, but was she the better fighter? I don't know. I think Katlyn's got kind of like a similar fighting style as Mayra Bueno Silva. I think she's going to keep that forward pressure. I think she's going to try to take her down a lot. And I think it's just going to be too much for her. If Katlyn gets cut up or gets hit hard, this fight could end. But this is women's bantamweight we're talking about. I don't think a knockout's coming. And I think, doctor stoppage is a bit of a fluke sometimes. So I do think Katlyn being the other underdog, she is going to get this win personally. But I could definitely see Macy getting the win as well. I don't really care too much for this fight, but I got Vieira winning this one.
Ooh, a little underdog going there. I like it. She's fought in
I got a couple underdogs today.
Yeah, I fuck with it. I mean, she lost to Kayla Harrison in her last fight, right? And Raquel Pennington, who's also fought for the title. She's beaten Holly Holm. She's beaten Miesha Tate. So she's definitely a dog in this division. But Maycee Chason, she's her. I really think she's going to push the pace in this one, kind of similar to Zachary Reese. What does scare me is I do like the underdog pick here, like you did. When Katlyn steps in against those big names, she loses. But is Maycee Chason that big name? She's not. This could be her opportunity to become that. I'm rooting for her. I like her. She's been on the channel a few times. I think she's dope. I think she lives in the gym. And I just think, where is Katlyn going to win this one? With takedowns and control time? That's not going to work on Macy.
Macy, I think she's going to
win. Macy is sharp striking, dude. She is sharp with her striking. I don't even think Katlyn's going to get a takedown of her own in this fight. I think Macy's the one who's going to be engaging for the takedowns. Just 1, 2, get you up against the cage, leg sweep you, get you to the ground, and continue to look for a finish. I think Macy's going to be the one who looks like she should be at the top of her division in this one. I don't know Katlyn's time. I think it's came and it's passed. And Macy, this is her time to prove herself and step up and be one of these top girls in her division. So yeah. I'm picking Macy in this one. So we're against each other. Here we go. I like this one. We pick against each other.
Yeah. Usually we're on the same page. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's gonna get the takedowns. Like the only person she struggled getting takedowns against is Kayla Harrison and Raquel Pennington. But she took down Pani 3 times. And Macy only took her down once and was still taken down once by Pani as well.
I like that comment. Macy parlay. That could be a little sneaky parlay. I like that.
Ooh, I think I'm going against Maycee Barber too.
Oh, that's funny because I don't think I am. Mayra Bueno Silva is really good. She is really good. And that was Macy's last win. And you did mention that she wasn't looking great until that 3rd round, but the 3rd round, she kicked the shit out of her. Literally almost killed her in that ring. I swear Macy's got like this freaking man inside of her, okay? She has man strength, bro. I think she's going to show it. I think she's going to use her man strength in this one and get the win. Maybe a possible finish.
Fair enough. Next up, we got Dustin Jacobe taking on Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez. I think it's just a Lopez last name. Or like just the name Bruno Lopez feels like they've been in the UFC for a while. Bless you. I don't know what happened there, or if you're coughing. Something's going on.
Sorry, I just took a huge hit of weed.
No.
I'm just kidding.
And that's it. We're demonetized. No. Bruno Lopez is 1-1 in the UFC, or 1-0 in the UFC. I don't know why I feel like he's been here before. Dustin Jacobe, on the other hand, he's coming off of a win and he against Vitor Petrino, but he got 2 losses before that against Dominic Reyes and Khalil Roundtree. Bruno actually lost his first contender series match against Brenson Ribeiro, who we've seen fight a few times, and we've broken down a few of his fights as well on this show. But then he went back to LFA, got a win, came back to contender series, got a win where he got a second round TKO, and then he got his first win in the UFC after that. This is a tough one because Dustin, he's a heavy hitter. He's got 13 knockouts in his 20 wins. He also has pretty decent takedown defense at 62%, which I think will be really important for this fight because you see Bruno Lopez averages 2.5 takedowns per fight. So obviously he's going to try to use that, but he's a pretty inexperienced fighter, even at his age. As I said, I think he's got the grappling advantage, but I think this will end up being a slugfest. I don't know if Bruno is going to stick to the game plan too much. I think these guys are going to be throwing shots back and forth. I've seen Dustin before. I don't think he's 6'3". He's probably a little bit bigger than that. I think he's going to come in and just like kind of tower over Bruno. So I guess we'll see Saturday night. But if it ends up being a slugfest, which I think it will be, that's the Dustin Jacobe's wheelhouse, and I think he's going to get the win.
Is it Dustin Jacobe or is it Dustin Jacobe? Think about it. It's Jacobe. Dustin Jake. I'm gonna call him Dustin Jacobe. Call it what you will. Just Dustin Jacobe, I've never been the biggest fan of because he is a little chinny. He does take those shots that scare you, but he is hard as fuck to knock out. We've seen him go against some dogs, and he got a knockout in his last win against Victor Petrino, who I thought was going to just take over this whole division in light heavyweight and be one of these guys. And he knocked him clean out in the 3rd round. I was amazed by it because I thought he was going to get knocked out in the 1st and in the 2nd round. And then to come back and get that knockout, I was like, that's insane. So I don't know how Bruno Lopez wins this one. I think you're right. His game plan should be going for takedowns, but I don't think he's going to stick with that. And it is hard to get takedowns in the smaller cage. We have to take that into account. Dustin Jacobe may look like he's going to get hit in this one. It's not going to be a flawless victory. It could be a close decision win, but I don't think Bruno's going to knock him out. It takes a lot to knock Dustin Jacobe out. You got to hit him once clean and follow up like 2 or 3 more shots clean to knock this guy out. He's not just going to get hit once and be done and chin Dustin Jacobe. He's way better than that. I think there's value on him as a favorite here. I'm not sure how big of a favorite he is. -190. I'd toss him in a few parlays, to be honest, boys. I like Dustin Jacobe by finish. I think he gets it done by finish.
Yeah. I feel like this type of fight, like you'd expect Bruno to be the favorite just because he's got the skill set to beat Dustin. But I think the odds makers are all on top of it. I think they're expecting the same things as us. So yeah, I think he'll end up being a lock, honestly. I don't see him losing.
Yeah, I see this one being put in my parlays for sure.
Yeah. Billy Ray Goff is taking on Ramse Brahimage as the feature prelim. Interesting because both of these guys were supposed to fight different guys. Fight, but both of their opponents couldn't get visas to come into the U.S. So I think whatever Trump's doing is working. People just can't come in. So UFC did what you'd expect them to do. They're like, oh, your opponents couldn't come. You guys are fighting each other now. Billy Ray Goff, you can just look at these stats. He dominates Ramse Brahimage in every single category. He's a powerful striker. Before his loss to Trey Waters, He was actually on a 5-fight KO/TKO streak. And 4 of the 5 ended in the first round. So he's definitely a powerful striker. But he's 1-1 in the UFC. He's been beaten. It went to decision in a close fight that I think a lot of people thought Billy Ray won, to be fair, but he did lose. Ramse Brahimage, on the other hand, did win in his last fight by KO, but like that feels like a fluke.
That guy is not even close to the top 15 that he beat.
No. In reality, he's like a grappler bust type of guy. 10 of his 11 wins have been by submission, so that 1 KO is definitely a bit of a fluke there. I think, like I mentioned in the first fight we covered with Zachary, I like the well-rounded fighter more than the one-dimensional fighter. I think Ramse Brahimage, good on the ground, very one-dimensional. I don't think he'll be able to hang with Goff. So I got Goff winning this one. I feel like it'll be a finish, but there could be a sneaky decision in there as well if he can't get the knockout. So yeah, but he's got 100% takedown defense as well. So he's clearly like very, very well-rounded.
So correct me if I'm wrong. It says Billy Ray Goff is 1-1 in the UFC. So he won on Contender Series, knockout, came into the UFC, got a knockout, and then he lost his last fight, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah, I'll look it up while you talk. So, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I like the guys coming off of knockouts from Contender Series. He got a win in his debut. Fluke loss in his last one. We'll call it a fluke loss because I think he's going to look levels higher than Ramse here. Ramse lost to Themba Gorimbo, boys. Let's be real. Themba is not really a threat when it comes to striking or really fighting, to be honest. I don't think he'll touch the top 15. But yeah, I'm not going to take the guy who lost to Themba Gorimbo. Billy Ray Goff is a way higher prospect in my eyes. I could see him hurting him bad in this one, I have Billy Ray Goff by finish. And I like that a lot of these, I think, are ending by finish. I think it's going to happen. So I might.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be an exciting card, except in the main event.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping Maycee Barber can make it exciting and get a knockout finish or something. But
yeah, no, I think it'll be an exciting card for sure.
A lot, to be honest.
Yeah. Co-main event: Matteo Gamrock versus Ludovic Klein.
I like this one. Just even the names of these two fighters, just saying it is like, ooh, that's UFC right there. Ludovic Klein.
Yeah, definitely a grappler versus striker matchup. And in these fights, I tend to go to the grappler because I think takedowns, like, not in my eyes, not in your eyes, but in the judges' eyes, tend to be worth a lot. Yeah. And this guy averages 5 takedowns per fight. But Ludovic Klein, way more well-rounded. His striking abilities are way higher level, in my opinion, than Matteo Gamrock. Even though their records are pretty similar. Like Matteo Gamrock is 24-3. He's got 8 knockouts, 5 submissions, 11 decisions. Ludovic Klein, he's 23-4. So 1 less win, 1 extra loss. And he's got 9 knockouts, 8 submissions, and 6 decisions. Yeah. But he's on a 7-fight unbeaten streak in the UFC. He has 1 draw in there. So it'd be a 7-fight win streak, but it's 6 wins and 1 draw. I think I'm going to go with Ludovic Klein, honestly. Yeah, I know he's the underdog. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but he's got 91% takedown defense. He still averages almost 2 takedowns per fight, so he can hang a little bit. But I think he needs to keep the fight on his feet. I think that if in his head he gets a takedown and he's like, oh, I can out-grapple this guy, he's going to lose the fight. He's got to keep the fight on the feet, yes. And that's how he gets the win. I see it going to decision personally. I don't think we're going to get a finish in this fight. But again, you just got to stick to the game plan, and if you do, you win. So it's his fight to lose. The question is, does he stick to the game plan? But Matteo Gamrock, he's an elite fighter. Like, we've seen him beat people like Arman Tsarukyan. Like, he's clearly he can out wrestle you if you want to wrestle with him. Yeah. So just don't fucking wrestle with him and you're going to get the win. And I think Ludovic Klein can do that. He's got good defense. So I got Klein winning.
Yeah, Gamrock's coming into this one. Let's wrestle. But Ludovic Klein, I swear I saw a stat that he has the best takedown defense or like the best takedown defense in lightweight history. So like his takedown defense is serious. It's going to be hard to get him to the ground. But I mean, Mateusz Gamrock, he's going to be hunting for that takedown. Like he's not going to show off his Canelo hands. We're not going to see any of this. We are going to see a wrestler versus a striker in this one. And I'm on the same page as you. I think Ludovic Klein is sharp. I think he knows that Gamrock's game plan is to try and take him down. Can he land a sneaky knee? Can he score on those when he's shooting? Can he sprawl out of that and land good, effective shots? I think he can, bro. I really do. I like that he's an underdog. If he was a favorite, I'm definitely smashing Gamrock. You know what I mean? If Gamrock was an underdog here. But he's not. He is the higher class leveled fighter. It's going to be interesting to see how he looks. I want to see it. He lost to Dan Hooker, and that wasn't Dan Hooker with tattoos. I don't think so. Ludovic Klein is better than that old version of Dan Hooker in the striking. In my eyes, give me Ludovic Klein. I'd like to see him get the finish here. I'm hoping for it again. I'm rooting for another finish in this one because even I saw Ludovic Klein post to his Instagram that he is going for a first round knockout here. He believes in it. He's manifesting it. You got to believe it. You got to see it to achieve it. I think he's already doing that. I think he gets the finish. I like it.
I agree with you, man. I think people also undervalue how elite of a striker someone like Ludovic Klein is, just because he's not like a household name yet. Yes. He hasn't been anyone that like you really recognize. But he did beat Ignacio Bahamondes, who I think people do consider to be maybe not an elite striker, but like a higher level striker, you know, and he's got the win there. And so I really do think Ludovic Klein's going to get the win here. I think his striking really is good enough to keep up. Main event, the one we're waiting for, baby.
Ooh, everybody's joining live. Yo, everyone relax. Quit spamming the chat.
Chill. It's not that exciting.
No. I know. So many fire emojis going off right now.
Erin Blanchfield taking on Maycee Barber. I got to see Erin Blanchfield fight. When was it? I think in Edmonton. I think that was the card. I saw. Yeah.
Who'd she fight? Rose? No. I always say people are fighting Rose when they're not.
No, it wasn't Rose.
She fought.
I think it might have been Tyler Santos. I could be wrong. But got to meet her fam. Was chilling in the hotel after. Was just kind of talking to some of the fighters walking around, and then I think it was her mom and her mom's friend or something like that we just kind of started talking, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm Blanchfield's mom," and I'm like, "Dude." Because I think that was a full 5-round fight. And I was like, pretty scary fight to like just watch.
Yeah.
When your kid just goes, you know, because I think it was a bit of I don't want to call it a slugfest because it's not like anyone was going to get knocked out, but they were getting hit. So yeah, definitely weird as a parent. As boring as like we make fun of this fight to be, this probably is a title eliminator fight, if we're being honest. You got Shevchenko as the champion right now. Natalia Silva is very clearly up next to fight Shevchenko after Shevchenko beat Manon Fiorot. But winner of this fight gets the winner of that fight, in my opinion. Erin Blanchfield, she's back in the winning column after beating Rose Namajunas. She did have a loss against Manon Fiorot, who just fought to the title the fight before that. Maycee Barber is on a 6-fight win streak, but is coming off after a year layoff because she was dealing with some major health issues. I think it was so major that she wasn't even sure if she was going to come back to the UFC. Like, I don't know if she knew if she'd be able to fight again.
Wow. And now she's in the main event. Good for her.
Yeah. And I think, so this is my problem, is I'm pretty sure it was like lung related. Like from the research I did, it said like pneumonia, strep throat, stuff like that. Which I think is tough because this is her first 5-round fight, which I think plays a really big role into it. I think they're both really high level, and I think they can both put up a challenge for the title, although I do think both of them lose against Valentina or Natalia Silva. I think both of those fighters are just levels above these two.
I agree.
But I think overall I have Erin winning this fight. Bro, Macy does get in slugfest. She's like, yeah. So that's 100% agree with you. Like Maycee Barber is by far the better striker here. And that's 100% certain. And this might be a little bit of a slugfest. We've seen Erin kind of do it before. And yes, I know Maycee Barber knocked out Amanda Ribas. She was taken down 2 times. I think that Erin Blanchfield, she's never been knocked out before. Amanda Ribas, she was knocked out twice before being knocked out by Maycee Barber. She's got a history of getting knocked down. I think Erin Blanchfield will be able to take advantage on the ground and take her down a few times. I don't think Maycee Barber is going to even try taking down Erin Blanchfield too many times.
Never.
Not at all. Like, I think she's just going to go straight up striking and try to keep this fight on the feet. Yeah. But I think Erin will be able to hang in there. I don't think she's going to get knocked out. I think this is going to go the full 5 rounds. And I think that's going to be the problem for Macy. I think she's just going to, after a year off, she's going to get more tired as the fight goes on. And if she can't get the finish, it's going to be difficult for her to win. And I think that's where Erin is going to kind of show that she's levels above in terms of cardio, and she'll just hang in there. So I think that's like, I think it's going to be a very close fight, but it'll be just enough for Erin to beat Macy, basically. Is take it to decision, go the full 5 rounds, maybe get a takedown or 2, win a round or 2 that way, and then just kind of hang in there in the striking game, because this fight's going to be mainly on the feet, in my opinion.
Well, you convinced me a few times on the show in the past, and man, this week was I thinking, I'm going to fire on Maycee Barber by finish, man. I'm going to do it. She's going to do it. Oh, man, don't bet against the streak. This is kind of what I was looking at the last fight, too, with Ludovic Klein. 7 wins in a row. She has 6 wins in a row, striker, against somebody who's probably going to have more of a grappling wrestling game plan. Can she get the finish? Can she find it? 25 minutes? Absolutely not. Oh my God, you just convinced me so hard with the whole injury, hasn't fought in a year, lung stuff, 25-minute fight, first main event. She's enjoying the bright lights. I've seen her in media day signing posters and doing all that. So she's enjoying being present in the moment. This could be her last main event spot ever in her whole career. So she's making the most of it. Erin Blanchfield, she's been her. She is really good. She just beat Rose Namajunas, who is undoubtedly one of the best in the female division. I don't care what rank she falls down to. She is a really tough opponent for anybody. I think right now, if she were to fight Valentina Shevchenko, it's a damn close decision. It's literally like Manon Ferro. It's like that damn close. So for her to get a win over Rose, that's a good enough momentum there. Her being in the main event against somebody who's coming off a year layoff, she's going to prove that, I'm this girl. I could take on this. I could take up an up-and-comer. I could take on the champ. I could take on this person. She doesn't care. So I'm taking Erin Blanchfield. You convinced me. I like that. I don't see how Maycee Barber's going to not get taken down here. You said she got taken down 3 times by Amanda Ribas in the first round or whatever.
No, 2 times, I think.
2 times overall, in the first?
But still.
But Erin Blanchfield could end each round with a minute on the ground, like getting a takedown by the end of the round and just slightly edging that round, because she's landing a takedown every single round, which Macy will not be doing in this fight. So I think there's just more ways for her to win a decision, to win this fight, than there is for Maycee Barber to get the knockout win. So I'll take the favorite here with you, although I really did want to believe in Maycee Barber, kind of like how I believe in somebody like Mommy Dern or somebody like that who has the skill set. Mommy Dern. I'll always be rooting for Mackenzie Dern to be at the top, fighting the top people, and kind of want to cheer for Maycee Barber just how I cheer for Mackenzie Dern, but I just don't think her skill set is as mixed and as deep as somebody like Mackenzie Dern. So it's definitely not as
going crazy on Macy here. Believe, bro. Believe.
I can't believe in Maycee Barber off of a year.
Paul's got a good point. He said that I'm gonna pull this up actually.
Pull it up.
3 fights against Talia, Manon, and Rose. She attempted 25 takedowns. She only got 2 on Rose. Really good point. Manon Ferro, didn't expect her to take her down. So that's like, get that out of there.
Yep.
Tyla, I'm surprised. Yeah, like I'm looking at UFC stats here. She didn't take her down. She outstroked her though. And then she outstroked Rose Namajunas 110 to 94. And when it came to Manon Ferro, she just got hit a bunch. It was 130 to 172. But that's the thing is like, I think Maycee Barber's skill set is there. I think she has the skills to win this fight. I think it'll fully come down to her being out of the fight game for a year, not being 100%. Maybe she's 100%, but it's hard to be 100% when you haven't had a lot of fights recently. I think being her first 5-round fight as a pro, I think that's going to be the difference. If she's only ever gone 3 rounds, you got to go an extra 2. You got to have a little bit more room in the gas tank. I think it might be a little bit too much. She might slow down. She might not be hitting as many strikes. And then she might land the more powerful strikes throughout the 4th and 5th round. But I think Erin Blanchfield will just outstrike her in those rounds and get the wins, which means she only has to get a 1-round win in the first 3. And I think that's doable. Like this is a decision fight. If I was confident that Macy can get the finish, it's Macy all the way. I'm never confident in a finish in a women's fight, to be honest. So it's tough to bet on. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. When making a pick here for me, I think it just has to come down to, I know Erin Blanchfield is her. Like she's got the skills, whatever. And I know Macy does, but we haven't seen it in a while. So I'm just believing in it. I'm hoping that we get to see it. I know what I'm going to get from Erin Blanchfield, and I think that's why she's a favorite in this one. I think she defends her ranking here and gets either a championship spot, like you said, as a number 1 contender, or fights the next biggest girl like Natalia Silva for that number 1 spot there. Yeah, it's just it's too long of a layoff, man. It is, and with the health stuff, it's just scary. You don't know until the fight happens. So I'm conflicted in this one. I wanted to go Macy all week, but I'm just gonna have to use my head here, not my heart, and pick Erin Blanchfield.
Yeah. Erin by decision, probably honest, but Macy will be super dangerous early. 100% agree.
I agree. That's exactly.
I've said it before on the show. Like I'm always rooting for the better story. And like in this fight, Maycee Barber winning after going through health issues, after taking a year off and coming back, is the better story. And if she gets to fight for the championship right after, which like I'm gonna pull this up because I think like it's like better visual real quick. How do I share my screen here? Like when you look at these rankings, like you got Valentina Shevchenko champion. You got Natalia Silva, who's up next. She's beating everyone. Manon Fiorot just lost to Shevchenko. Alexa Grasso just lost to Shevchenko. And then it's Erin Blanchfield and Maycee Barber next, if she comes off after a year layoff and gets to fight for the championship after, fucking sick. Like that's dope.
I mean, we're kind of looking at a similar situation with Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley. If Kamaru gets a win there, he hasn't fought in a long time. He'll probably get a title shot too if it's a decent enough performance. Yeah.
It just all depends how this goes. But this is guaranteed. I think that unless they try to do some funky where they like line up like a Weili Zhang versus Valentina Shevchenko because they want to have like a fight. Yeah, I feel like if they were to do it, they would have like already like they would have planned it for like this year or like already. I don't know, but like Weili doesn't deserve it. Yes, she's beating everyone, but like she doesn't fight. You know, like that's the issue with Weili.
In the back of my mind, I really am hoping that Dana White's saving an announcement of Weili Zhang versus Valentina Shevchenko co-main for John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Will we ever see that? I'm not too sure, but man, it's a good pay-per-view, Dana. Just give it to us, bro.
Yeah. How crazy is it that all of us thought that Tom Aspinall was announcing the fight yesterday? Yeah. He just announced a fucking partnership with Champion.
I was fooled, bro. I was fooled. I was invested. Yeah. I was really following that. But
it's funny. We literally talked about this as Paul was typing this out. It should be Natalia Silva. Like Natalia, it's there's similar situations in other divisions, but like I talked about this last week. Like, I don't love this whole like cross division bullshit they're doing. I think it like holds other people up that are deserving. And like Weili Zhang, like, let me pull this up real quick.
Ooh, I just got a matchmaking here. If Erin Blanchfield wins, they might give Jasmine Giudovicius a shot at her for a number 1 contender fight.
Could be because Erin had a loss against Manon before, right? So they're like, oh, you're getting 2 wins in a row. Now you're fighting for a title. Why are we doing that? Yeah. Could be. My computer isn't loading. I can't pull up Weili's record. But
I'm surprised we talked about this fight for as long as we have, man. Did not expect that at all. But this card should shape out to be all right at the end of the day.
I think so too. Here, this is what I was trying to pull up. This is why Weili Zhang does not deserve a title fight against Valentina Shevchenko. Literally 1 fight per year. 2025 already happened. Don't expect it at 2026. 2024. 2023, 2022, like literally one fight a year for the past 4 years, basically. And share this as well in here. But like, you can't reward someone like that when they're not fighting often, you know, like that's just my opinion. But you can make the same argument for John Jones.
Yeah. And then there's other fighters like Malik Costa and Kevin Holland who are fighting like 5-6 times a year.
Yeah. Yeah. History needs to see GO versus GO. You're right, Paul. It deserves to see it, but
we deserve
look at Valentina. Like Valentina fucking fights all the time, bro.
We deserve it.
Like if anything, Valentina deserves to move down to fight for 2 gold. John Jones. Valentina deserves to move down to fight for a double title. But yeah, anyway, that's the episode. Next week, UFC 316. It's gonna be fucking sick. We're gonna have Hayden, one of our reporters. He does Man on the Mat. Fucking hilarious segment. If you guys haven't seen it, he basically fights fighters in a full suit while he interviews them. It's a great segment. It's funny as fuck. He just did an episode with Bill Algeo. That was cool. Definitely check it out. But Hayden's going to be live at UFC 316. We're going to be live on Thursday covering 316. Cody's going to be live this Saturday and next Saturday covering this card and UFC 316. So yeah, tune in. A lot of good fights coming up. A lot of good breakdowns coming up. Every Thursday, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We go live. If you don't already, follow Cody Talks IF. He breaks down the fights, and he goes live every Saturday, like I said. So, yeah. Anyway, Paul, I appreciate you. You've been involved.
Yes. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to anybody else who was up in the chat, who even just left a message kind enough to say hi. We respect you. We love you. Thank you for joining. And leaving
highs in the chat. Just highs.
W's in the chat. Fire emojis in the chat. We need more fire emojis in our chats. So share it with a friend next week. We'll be live Thursday and Saturday every week. So awesome.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.